good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone all around the world. Welcome to BCG Movement Power Break session number 4. What is it for today? Today we are going to navigate AI and digitalization barriers and benefits. What are these? In today's world, the hottest topic that in this has been discussed in the business, I think, except the war, is the AI. Are we ready for this generation, for this AI era in our business and also for ourselves? Today, we invited two guests from Singapore and from India to share with us their point of view and their expertise with these navigating AI and digitalization barriers and benefits. Let's welcome the first guest from Singapore. He asked me to say his name 3 times. I think I'll better use the short form. Let's welcome LV, the CEO of Asia Innovate Hub, native strategies. Hi, LV.
Good afternoon or good day to everyone, and it's a pleasure to be with you on the call today.
Hi, LV. LV will be talking about the AI agents and then AI platforms later and share more about it with all of us today. And next, let's welcome the next guest from India. Let's welcome Deepak, the co-founder and director of Blue Santos Technologies, Governance, Compliance, and Risk. Hi, Deepak.
Hello, hi Elvi, and good afternoon to everybody watching us. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. And let's have a really good talk.
Welcome, LV and Deepak. So today, in today's world, AI has been one of the most fastest and also ever changing thing in the business that cause maybe opportunities and also disruption. So can you tell me, like in one line, what are you thinking, what's the number one barrier stopping organization from getting real return on investment, ROI, from AI? Everyone wants to do it, but then some say, well, it's helping, some say not really, it's not helping. So what's the number one barrier that stop organization from getting real ROI from AI? Let's ask Deepak to answer this question first. What do you think?
For me, of course, I come from the governance and compliance perspective. To me, any business, whether you are using AI for your internal operations or to deliver a product or a service, or whether you're developing an AI product yourself, right? One of the things what becomes a barrier would be the governance part or the compliance part of it. The main reason being, AI, as much as the world thinks that it is trying to replace humans or the human workforce, I'm on the other end of that. I'm actually pro AI because I see AI as a tool that will help all the human forces. But the only thing is, the only barrier is how do we trust the AI, right? So that becomes a bigger question. Whether you're using it for simple drafting emails, for example, or if you're translating an email from English to Mandarin or Japanese, or how do you trust whether the translation is 100% accurate, right? So that becomes a biggest barrier, and that is where a lot of companies are confused. Okay, can we trust this AI or this product, or can our product be trusted with this, right? So that is the biggest barrier, I would say. That would be the compliance, or basically, is the AI trustable or not?
Wow, yes. I think during some survey with a lot of educators, they are also worried about the trustworthiness, whether these
Yeah.
AI answers can be trusted or not. I think
Yeah.
that is one of the biggest barrier for some of us. So, Alfie, what do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think the general principles Deepak's put across are sound, and I agree with it. He's definitely got a lot more experience than myself in the governance space. From my perspective, I've had the opportunity of being part of the green revolution, and then the IoT revolution, and now it's the AI revolution. And the benefit of that is you can see when the same mistakes being made over and over again when it comes to the adoption of technology. And right now, what you see in the marketplace is a market flooded with car parts. It's gone technology, people. I think maybe 3 years since the release of GPT, people are now starting to say, what's the process? And hence all the AI slop and the noise that's in the market. And everyone's trying to figure out what's the use case. And they're only now starting to think maybe what's the fundamentals when it comes to adopting a new technology. I'm with Deepak. I think that AI is an amplifier for humans and humankind. I think that many things can be true at the same time. One, large language models can be a revolutionary technology. Two is that we can be in an AI bubble, and I 100% think we are in an AI bubble. Three, that the prick for that AI bubble is our inability to unlock the correct use cases for AI, because then you won't get the return on the infrastructure investment. Zooming out, really. Bringing it back down to a pragmatic level, I think that there's an amazing opportunity for everyone to adopt new skills, new capabilities, where you might have been limited with your knowledge on a particular thing. You can now adopt skills from AI and leverage it and leverage the intelligence. So I'm excited about the future for humanity and the AI journey. I think with caution around governance and protection. I think that today I'll be talking a lot about the gap that I see in the market, which is really around skills enablement, skills development, and being able to leverage this amazing new technology. Yeah, thank you. Long answer, but I hope it gave some clarity.
Yes. Thank you, LV. So, LV, you talk about this is a revolution, and we have gone through a lot of industrial revolution. I think this is the fastest and the greatest in the history. And of course, there are worries about humanities and also about how technology developed and how they disrupt our life. So, Deepak mentioned about trust. So, Deepak, do you want to tell us, like, you have been in this governance area, so how are we going to use AI to benefit our organization at the same time to maintain our humanity, compliance, and the governance that we have? So how are we going to integrate these both barriers and benefits together?
Yeah, that's a great question. And following up to what LV said, right? There are a lot of gaps, just as it is with any new technology or any new revolution, right? I mean, there are both ends to it. People see great potential in it, and there are people that see great harm, potentially coming from it. The only way this can be sort of balanced or neutralized is if there is some form of a governance mechanism around it. So in terms of building trust, on using AI or delivering services using AI products, there aren't really too many governance frameworks right now, just a handful. One is, of course, we have the European Union's AI Act, and of course, there is the ISO 42001 2023. This is a global standard, and it's a management system standard designed for governing an AI system, whether you use it as a consumer or if you are developing it as an AI product developer. In terms of how do we build this trust, there are risks involved when it comes to using an AI product or developing an AI product. One is AI models, they are heavily dependent on data, what data that they are feeding out of, right? And there is a risk that if this data is not right to begin with, or in between, if the data gets poisoned, we call it data poisoning. So obviously, whatever you ask this particular AI model, it may give you the wrong answer. And if the user is not aware of figuring out, okay, this may be not the right answer. Just to give a simple example, right? Let's say children are using AI for their math problem, because I struggle with math myself personally. So let's say the kid wants to know what is 2 plus 2. I mean, the answer is 4, right? But I'm just giving a very high level example and exaggerating it so people can relate to it. But let's say the data that is being used to train this AI thinks 2 plus 2 is 3 instead of 4. And the user, in this case the children or the kids, they may not know the right answer, and they might simply go with 3 as the answer. And finally, when they turn in their homework, and the teacher comes back and says, okay, your answer is wrong. So if you amplify this at the organization level, right? So this is one of the risks, I would say. The data that is used to develop the AI model or the AI product, there is a risk of this data being poisoned. So how do we avoid this data poisoning? There are, of course, multiple strategies, but one major mitigation control is to put in a human in the loop. There is one strategy that we have in place. So basically, we are putting a checker that is coming back to the same example, 2 plus 2, right? And the AI model spits out 3. And there's somebody in between that looks at it and say, hey, it's not supposed to be 3, it's supposed to be 4. So you have a check there, and this person gives a feedback to the AI so it can correct, and then the right answer comes out. So this is, of course, a very simplified example of it, but more or less, this is how data poisoning can be avoided, or one of the ways. Likewise, there are multiple risks when it comes to using an AI tool. Data poisoning is one of them. The other one being bias when it comes to the response of the AI model, right? So all of these scenarios need to be tested out thoroughly to ensure that the AI product gives out the right meaningful response, right? So one of the best ways right now, at least, is to have a human in the loop. But again, having the human in the loop also creates a risk, because let's say there is one person who's checking through all the answers. Eventually, that person may get tired, right? And he might just click on approve or approve all. So instead of becoming a check, it becomes a rubber stamp activity. Okay, approve, 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 right? So that is also a risk. But the good news is, as the technology is evolving, there are control mechanisms we can put in place, to verify the output of the AI product, and all of these can be tested. Of course, there are audits that can be conducted. There are logs which can be verified, and if we aim for a particular target, there, let's say an AI model is targeting 90% accuracy. That's a very good accuracy rate, I would say, considering the fact that the large amount of data that is being used, the different variables, and all of that. So, a long story short is, governance is only trying to ensure that the AI product is doing its job the way it is intended to be, and there needs to be checks to it. And if these checks are in place, of course, the performance would improve, and with performance comes trust, right? The more the users use, the more the AI model learns, and the more the AI product or the developer or the company using it, it's an evolution. It's like a baby learning to walk. Of course, it won't start running right off the bat, right? I mean, you get up, you fall, you correct yourself. We need to look at AI in a similar sense, and it is very important to also keep in mind that not to have like very high expectations of AI. This is where I meant by saying use AI as a tool. Don't expect it to solve the most complex problems. You need to start training it, and there is a way to train the AI as well as the user. So it's a continuous process of course correction, review, feedback. That's how trust is built. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot to take in, Deepak. So we talk about this AI is good, and then we human we have to be careful. And I know that I
Yes.
attended LV's lesson before. He showed us this Shine Go Global AI platform, which we can give our data to it, and
Yes.
it comes up with some very useful information for us to develop our business, the 90 days doable plan. So I would like to ask LV about what worries Deepak. So this AI native, what does it mean? And then on this platform, how are we going to ensure what worries Deepak and many of us? How is AI going to deal with our data, and how is it going to be approved to be sure that this can be safe and this is not going to be used by the others? So LV, I remember you told us about AI, human AI. Would you like to talk more about it? Like how are we going to have this platform that help business growing at the same time protecting our data from leaking to those unwanted sources? So LV?
Yeah, thank you. Um, I'm glad that the statement stuck with you at some level. It's human AI human. It's the other way around. But yeah, I think data is the key. You know, ultimately, the use cases won't be unlocked if you don't unlock the data. And the data varies. We see data as like maybe three layers. You've got your living data, you've got your operational SOPs, and then you've got the learning data. And these three things need to work in harmony to be able to deliver an output. Now, when we talk about AI, what's the output? It's democratized intelligence. Assuming you have the right data, assuming you've got the context engineering, which basically means having the right data at the right time for the right prompt, right? You've got the right designed agent instructions, and then you have a decent prompt. At least from a prompting perspective, the AI is getting a bit smarter, but ultimately those three things all work together to deliver intelligence. So what are we all trying to do, right? We're all trying to rapidly condense heavy lifting with AI, or to get, as quickly as possible to an intelligent result that we can leverage, or an asset. That's the big thing now. Before we were just getting, threads or chats, long responses in text. Now you can actually manipulate data and turn it into dashboards, into websites, into PDFs. So the ability to manipulate data is at the center of this, and training people how to do that at the right time to get the right information. So governance and data has been a issue prior to this, I think. But a few golden nuggets from my side when it comes to what not to do, maybe. If you're using any free product, then more than likely your data is being used to train a model, right? So if you're using free GPT or free, any one of the other car parts that are in the market, just consider that if you're putting sensitive company data in there, that it's not protected and it's been leaked and it's training an overarching model. You don't want that. What you do want is, as quickly as possible within your workplace, to prevent we used to have bring your own device to work. Now it's bring your own AI to work, right? And you need to put into place at your office the tool, which is AI, in a structured environment that protects your data and ensures that your sensitive company data is not being used to train an overarching model. The sooner you do that, the better, because if you don't do that, your employees are going to be using the AI on the side to try and do the heavy lifting, which means you have some form of data breach. Outside of that, we look at role-based access control, encryption, all the usual to ensure data privacy, security. That's the key. There's a big training element and upskilling of the human on understanding data. And most importantly, with large language models specifically, you don't want all of the data all of the time. A lot of people are realizing that you need to understand which data to use for a specialized task or ask when you're using AI as a prompt or as an agent or a team of agents to deliver an output. So understanding data, data governance, context engineering is very important to ensure that when you're using this technology, you're not breaching your company data policies. More importantly, that you're not chasing the rabbit around the room when it comes to trying to get a output that is correct from the data that you're using. If you're using incorrect data, multiple Excel spreadsheets into the same AI that you're prompting against, and there's different version control issues, well, you're going to have an issue. So how to keep your data clean, how to cleanse, how to make sure that you understand how to design which data to use for which task is important. And I'll spend a bit more later on the call talking around we coming at this, we're moving away from the AI, make everything AI, to understanding in your organization your informal IP, all the stuff that makes your company work, your workflows, your SOPs, all of these things. That's the angle that we want to come at it from when it comes to introducing AI, because that's where the intelligence, the data sits. Long answer as well. Hope that wasn't too much.
Thank you, LV. So we can see that data is the source of everything, is for input and also for output. So human, right? Human. Thank you for reminding, LV. There's a question for Deepak who commented on our LinkedIn Live page. So Deepak, can you please give some real life examples of how governance is currently put to practice, and what measures are required to adopt AI across the company? I believe LV talked a little bit about it just now. So can you give us some real life example?
Sure. Just echoing what LV said, right? Human, AI, human. So that itself becomes a governance mechanism, and that is at the moment, not the effective, but it's the best answer that we have right now. Mainly because there are organizations that are trying to have AI govern another AI, right? So it's essentially two machines trying to talk to each other and then come out with a solution, right? But yeah, the real life examples, like I mentioned, is one, understanding what the AI product is meant for. Like if I'm using AI in my company, I'll give you an example. Let's say ChatGPT, right? So if I say in my company, I'm allowing the use of ChatGPT, how do I ensure that I have some governance mechanism on this? Number one being is, rightly like how LV said, getting the free version of the ChatGPT may not be the most secure way to use AI, because whatever data that we're keying in eventually ends up in ChatGPT's public server. It could be used for their own trainings and all of that. So how we can restrict that is get a licensed version of that AI tool, so that whatever data your employees are keying in stays within your environment, and it is not used for learning models outside of your license. This is one. Another thing, or probably I should have led with this first. Get everybody to fully understand how to use this AI tool. That is very, very important. You can't treat an AI tool like how you would treat Google search. I mean, you can't just type in anything you want and expect it to give you the right answer. So there is a certain do's and don'ts when it comes to using AI. That always begins with awareness, understanding the limitations of the AI tool. What should be the right way to ask a question? What should be the right way to give a feedback? Right, giving a feedback to the response is also extremely important. So the AI tool also understands whether it is giving the answers in the right way, right? So I would say real life examples would be one, have awareness session with the user. Second thing is whatever tool you're getting, make sure you do some amount of due diligence. Check if this AI company provider, they have at least some basic level of controls in place. Try to understand if they're offering licensed versions, how they're filtering their data, right? If they have any certifications, right? So that way you'll be, it's like getting a new software for your office. I mean, essentially look at it from that angle. But again, software is different, AI tool is different. But the approach would be a similar thing. Or I would say, let's say you're trying to hire a new key resource for your employee. You wouldn't just randomly hire anybody that puts in their CV, right? So you do check on them, you do an interview on them, you check if they're the right fit for you. Do the same thing for the AI tool as well. Try out the AI tool. Give it some example questions or example challenges. See how it is responding to it. Is it meeting your expectations there? If not, what are the other alternatives, right? Or see if you can give this feedback to the AI developer so that they can correct it and fine tune the AI, for you, right? And apart from that, once it is implemented, there are a lot of policies that need to be put in place, and of course, risk management is one of it. Identify what is the potential risk in using this particular AI tool. Like for example, if you are using an AI agent to send out invoices or for billing, right? So it is very important. It's a very critical task. Let's say a business is sending out hundreds of invoices a day. So if a human is doing, you can imagine the amount of strain that single person goes through, checking if the invoice amount is right, is it going to the right person, am I billing the right amount, right? But it can be handled by AI. That's a beautiful thing about AI. Again, it makes these repetitive tasks a lot more easier. But it needs to be approached with caution. We cannot completely trust this AI tool and allow it to send hundreds of invoices without somebody checking for it, right? So that is the human in the middle part. So this is also another practice basically for companies that are using AI for whatever reasons, right? So you need to categorize them as whether this job is critical, which the AI is trying to handle, or is it something purely operational, which is internal. Even if things go bad, it's not really that bad. We can always correct it. Or if it is a very low thing, we are just trying to play around with the AI tool, doing a little bit of research internally, right? um, so that becomes extremely important, like understanding what is the intended outcome of the AI, and based on that you set up these checks essentially to see if it is meeting those checks.
Thank you, Deepak. So my next question or my next wonder for LV, it will be, you see, there are so many things that we have to do, and then there are AI. We have, as human, we need to have that kind of awareness. And also, according to Deepak, we have AI monitoring AI. So these are called AI agents, I suppose. And these AI agents, how are they going to work together on a platform that is safe, that it won't be used whatever I input into that model to train other free models? So is there any platform, or how are we going to use all these AI agents together that I can also protect my data of the company safely, and to raise the awareness of the employees and then the stakeholders in the company? LV, I think you have the solution, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I always encourage people to experiment, and you don't want to be racking up all of these service fees or SaaS fees or whatever it may be. But with caution, before you use sensitive data, do your own research, okay? Understand how that information is stored, where's it stored, which country, what is the training of T's and C's against your data. I think that's key. We built an AI native operating system called Co-founder, which is designed to alleviate those fears, right? Our goal is to help people unlock the potential of their data, and we make sure that their data is very protected with role-based access control, encryption, no training of any overarching models. We also very sensitive about localization. Depending on the region or the client, you might do on-prem versus in the cloud, depending on the data sensitivities. So each client has their own DNA of cybersecurity and data protection, and you want to, as quickly as possible, understand what that looks like. If you see any gaps, recommend where those need to be controlled. Our experience right now, to be pretty candid, is generally speaking, most people need to worry about their data anyway. Forget about AI. I think that most companies are dealing with what we call the Frankenstack, where you've been adopting, different technologies over time. You've got a hybrid of analog, digital. You've got different databases. You've got this big spider web of data linked to your business, and most businesses haven't sorted that out yet. And we saw that when we were deploying IoT, Internet of Things projects, introducing a horizontal stack to normalize the data from all the different sources so that you could turn it into intelligence. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I answered your question. You can tell me if I didn't, and I'll try again, but that's just a few takes from our side.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, LB. So when we have all these data in a safe place and work within the context that we want, that would be safer. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Right.
there's layers to the onion. So there's your company data, and then even within the company, you can just think about how you don't want the data that sits with the CFO to be available to everyone on the shop floor. You don't want that. So even within the company, you need to have data control, data sharing, data privacy. When we've built our platform, we've looked at privacy all the way down, because you're pulling people together in an organization to operate through the AI native lens. So, prompting against data to drive intelligence collaboration. But if they're setting up an AI agent that's dealing with all the financials, that AI agent needs to have access control. So only the C-suite can look and use that agent within the org. And you need to think about this very carefully. Within an organization, you can't share data with every division, every department. It's very focused, and understanding the data, understanding the usage of the data is key to unlocking AI agents, multi-agents workflows, to have the right data at the right time for the right context, so that you can drive a value drive or an output.
Wow. Yes. Thank you, LV. So from what Deepak and LV has shared just now, it means that we need AI agent, or we need certain policies to monitor how we in the organization actually use this AI in our workplace. So that's why bring your own AI to work, because that is a personalized, that amplify. You use the word amplify our own em- employability and also our capability. So Deepak, in
Sorry,
your
if I may just be
yeah.
very clear on the bring your own AI to work. So I just want to be extremely clear that that's a potential risk, right? So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the risk is that if you don't deploy an office architected AI system with the right firewalls and data protection, the risk is that people will bring their own device to work, their own AI to work, and use their AI, which means your company data is going into their AI, their ecosystem. You don't want that. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, so I get it. So in a big organization, we need something that is standardized and it goes within that organization only to keep the data safe in that
Correct.
sense.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you, Alvi, for clarification. So Deepak, so if you see it in your opinion, in this case, how are we going to prevent AI from becoming a tool, used by a few instead of turn it into an organization-wide capability? Since there are some risks and also security issues that we have to solve, how are we going to prevent that actually? So in your opinion, Deepak?
Yeah. So thank you, Elvi, for clarifying the risk part as well. Just just before answering that question, there are like plenty of examples, like real world examples. One of the most prominent ones is Samsung Semiconductor. They had an incident, so they had allowed usage of ChatGPT, within the development team, and a few developers, what they did, just to uh, proof check the the source code, they put it on the ChatGPT to verify it, and that eventually ended up getting there on the public server, which I was mentioning earlier, right? So, of course, from the employee point of view, he was trying to be more productive, ensuring that the source code does not have any bugs or flaws, right? Um, but without the right approach or the right awareness, there are plenty of source codes that have been leaked on the public servers of ChatGPT. This is one very prominent example. Anybody can, just do a quick Google search and you'll get more info. Yeah, coming back to your question. So, how do we secure the data, and how do we ensure at the organization level, this doesn't happen, right? One best thing is to get a dedicated or a licensed AI tool for the organization use. Basically, this is like saying, issue a laptop to your employees and ensure that they are using the laptop only for work and not for any personal things. So basically, you are segregating the tool. And likewise, with the AI tool as well, setting up the right controls at the admin level or at the organization level. So there are a lot of AI tools that can be configured so that even if any user, let's say, puts in a sensitive information, it could be anything, it could be their private information, right? The name, phone number, and the AI tool can be configured at the organization level. When that keying in or that input happens, AI immediately alerts saying, okay, you entered personal information which you shouldn't be doing. So, please refrain from sharing personal information, right? So these are the checks that can be implemented only if the organization gets a licensed version of it, or there are some freeware AI tools as well which provide this control. But what's important is we need to set it up the right way, or set the right logical architecture for the use of this AI within the organization. So that becomes very important. And at the same time, whatever data is being keyed in, that will need to be logged in within the organization, and there needs to be a mechanism to ensure that this data does not go outside the organization. How it can be done? These AI tools can be hosted in the organization's own data servers or their own cloud environment, so that it essentially stays within the environment. Just like any SaaS product out there, right? So it can be locally hosted. A similar sort of configuration can be made for the AI tools if that AI tool has the option to do so. These are one of the things, and apart from that, just keep doing regular audits. Just keep checking the logs to see what is the general feedback, what is the general accuracy of the AI tool, how many issues have been raised, if there have been user complaints on any particular response. Ensure those complaints have been resolved on a timely manner, so that so that the same thing doesn't repeat over and over. So essentially, it might look like a lot of effort to keep those in line, but it's a continuous process. It's an evolution, right? It may feel a little difficult to begin with, but over a period of time, it becomes part of the routine, right? So this is essentially some of the basic ways how an organization can protect its data. And of course, one last thing is before I hand it over is the data that is being used, right? Instead of using the real data, the organizations can use what we call test data or dummy data. These are essentially trying to replicate the real data, but it really is not. For example, let's say you're using AI to send out WhatsApp messages, right? And to test the AI, of course, you will need some phone numbers. So instead of providing the real phone numbers, you can probably give them test phone numbers to see if the AI tool is functioning well. Have it separated and then segment it, have the right access controls in place, have the right policies in place, and then mobilize.
Wow, that's a lot to take in actually. That's a
I
lot.
try to keep it as simple as I
Yeah.
can, but essentially there is so much that you can do, right? I mean, the possibilities are you know very vast. Um, but in essence, it's all about understanding what's the expectation out of it, and putting in enough checks, and not put too many checks that it hinders your process again. It's a balance again. I mean, we need to really sit back and see how much can we really check, and how much is really important for us.
Yeah, thank you. So I was born. I am a millennial, as you can see. So I'm a digital native. But nowadays we have this word called AI native. So I would like to ask LV, what does it mean in practice, AI native? And for what you have shared, I know that we have a lot to learn. And is there any AI learning, and what kind of education is available for this AI learning and managing this cyber risk? Because at this stage, everyone was, having this FOMO, and everyone was rushing towards AI without thinking much on the risk and the security that we have to take into consideration. So, LV, so is there any, what kind of education is available? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that that's the gap in the market, the education part. So we've designed and we deliver a lot of AI native certifications across a 5 certification course that we've designed, which starts from foundations, then looks at workflow, ecosystem building, enterprise architecture, and then futurist. But then we've also designed specialist courses with partners. And when we talk about being AI native, we talk about like empowering the business, the individual and the business to operate through the operating system that is our AI native operating system, which is one component of AI native thinking and being. I think a platform is one thing. When we do training, it's how you think and use AI to solve problems, to do your daily job, and to unlock value across the different roles and SOPs within your organization. So I think everyone is okay with prompting, and I'd be surprised if I met someone who hasn't prompted or used AI. That would be a surprise. I think that mainstream mass market adoption of all the car parts, as I like to call it, is there. It's now the missing piece, right? Which is how to really unlock the potential of the AI through correct context engineering, prompt engineering, designing the correct AI agents for the correct functions and roles. So the training part, we talk about setting up an IP center of excellence. So coming into companies and helping them to understand within a role, within a division, within the company as a whole, where's the informal intellectual property? Who does that sit with? The knowledge, the process, the workflow, how to do a specific function within the business, we really focusing on all of that as our starting point to document and prioritize, because the problems change, right? When you go from top management to middle management to the ground floor, everyone has different challenges, everyone has different pain points. So maybe to try and clean up my answer and pull it all together, we're coming back down to the fundamentals of what would make a good company. And it's going to come down to setting up a culture of innovation and digital transformation that is structured. And that's always starts people, process, technology in that order. So our approach is to understand the people when we come into the business. What's keeping you awake at night? What's the prioritized challenges at top management, middle management, in your individual roles? What's the processes? What's the workflow? What's the data? What's the different roles that touch a process? Then teaching people how to rank and prioritize those as to which one do you solve and what technologies are relevant, because it's not just AI. You might need to do a lot before you even touch AI. So yeah, I hope that gives some idea and some kind of answer to your question.
Yeah, so that's AI native certification that we are looking at is about all these workflow, context engineering, prompt engineering, and most importantly is the security awareness that we have while we are using AI, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Deepak, can you tell us what is the minimum viable governance look like? So teams, every one of us in the same organization can move fast and safely. The minimum. Deepak.
Yeah, the bare minimum, in the information security or the cybersecurity space, just like LV said, PPT, right? That's people, process, technology, and it's in that right order. It is never going to be technology first, then people. You cannot rearrange them. So the bare minimum, I would say, is it's not the technology, it's not the process. It's always going to be the people. So, what I mean by that is ensure the people are fully aware of what the AI tool is about and how to use that AI tool in the most effective and also the ethical way or the safe way, right? So that would be the bare minimal, I would say. Have your people approach the AI tools in the right mindset, not only for business but even at their personal level as well. I always would recommend, not to have an awareness session. Okay, this is your awareness session for the company or your work part, and this is the awareness session for your personal. So try not to have that separation, right? Because everybody is human. We don't behave in a way at work and then suddenly we flip and we are a different person at home. It's the same person. So always have the awareness session so that it mixes both the personal and the professional part of their life as well. So that way, we are getting rid of bias at the people level. Because how many times have you heard people go, I'm really busy, I have to work, but they still go do the work anyways. How many times have you seen people say, no, I have to go immediately, I have some personal work. So the priority goes to obviously the personal work, right? Not the professional work. So this is a simple example for bias. So how we can eliminate that is treat the awareness as what it is. It is simply awareness at the people level. Whether they're using it for work or personal, the same rules, the same policies should eventually be able to apply so that they can understand, okay, why this policy is in place. Why do we really need to, have a check in place? So if the people understand these expectations and these limitations, and if they go in with the right mindset, I think that would take care of the majority of the risks with regards to the AI tools. But it's very easy to say that, very very difficult to implement that, because in the compliance or the governance world, there is always this fight. There are people that are saying we need to focus on people, And there is another group that says, no, we need to have the right technology in place. So irrelevant of who the people are, the technology should keep up. There's always this debate that is always happening, right? Should the people be given importance or the technology? But the governance framework itself, right, it clearly says it is PPT, people, process, technology, and it must be gone in that particular order.
Yes, thank you, Deepak. And I think how we focus on people and also technology, in the end of the day, we want results, the results that we are looking for. So I would like LV to share some insights, like ShineGoGlobal.ai platform that I have been using and some of us have been using here around our community. So can you share some insights and how it is supporting the community like us, the SMEs, trainers, and coaches on this ShineGoGlobal.ai platform, Alfie?
Yeah, I think that the opportunity that exists is if you unlock the potential of AI, you can amplify your existing output by 1,000%. Okay, that sounds like a big scary number, but it's probably an undercooked number if you really know how to use it properly. You can also then unlock the potential to adopt additional skills that maybe you didn't have. So I see it as like collecting badges, right? So I might not have access to a solution architect, but I'll design an AI agent as a solution architect with the white paper or the technical information for a specific technology. And immediately I've got a solution architect. Is it as good as a human or better? That's debatable. But the point is I can unlock that capability for a few cents at the moment. So that's the democratization of capability, skills. And I think that for trainers and for the Shine Go Global community, I hoped that we can keep teaching people how to unlock value, whether it comes to designing curriculum, when it comes to designing AI agents that can become personalized mentors that you make available 24/7 to your cohort. There's so many ways you can use AI to differentiate yourself, your business, your value proposition, and then to also build a community. And I think the real winners are going to be those that when building a community with AI, leveraging the AI to unlock the points of synergy that exist within that community. That's still completely, I think, underutilized. And we're working on some projects and some tools to help unlock the synergy between people. We foresee AI bringing a high agency on human-to-human engagement because it can help you find the right person for the right, discussion at the right time. And I'm giving quite a broad stroke answer here. Our philosophy is AI, if you're adopting it, must have value. We must teach you how to unlock value, whether it's, reducing risk, increasing revenue, or driving operational efficiency. Those are three things that we tend to try and help users unlock. So you can solve anything with AI and any technology nowadays. Where we saw the IoT industry derail is people doing badly designed IoT projects, connecting the wrong thing that has no business value, no business case. So the same principle will apply for AI. You can use AI for anything. You can write poems all day. Does that add value? No. Can you use it to unlock your consulting, to unlock your business, to unlock your market reach? These are the things that you need to be adopting and thinking about through the AI native lens.
Thank you, LV. So the keywords: unlock the values. So what kind of values we are looking for in our business? Like I built this AI program with educators and trainers with a AI for educators and trainers app together. So with the provisions of like how do you train and how do you coach and AI together, it unlocks the value that we share in this community together. So be part of this BCG, Business Synergy and Growth Movement. All of us here, we are part of this community. I would like to ask Deepak, what is your biggest excitement over this, and what can SMEs expect from you, and you can help together in this community? And we have a conference in June in Sabah. So what can they get from your presentation to the conference in June?
Okay, that the thought of it makes me really excited. I really can't wait. I cannot tell you how many ideas that I've drafted out and scratched out, saying no, this one is better, that one is better. But yeah, I'll save the presentation for June. Hoping forward to seeing everybody there, seeing you guys in person. Coming back to the biggest takeaway, right? Uh, what many people or many businesses think, because I work with businesses of all types. I work with startups with just the founder and nobody else, all the way to big MNC companies that have 50,000 employees and all of that. The tools that we have in disposal, and by tools I'm of course including AI as well. If this is leveraged the right way, this can definitely be the equalizer, I'd like to call it, where even a startup company can compete with these big companies, right? So it definitely has that potential. In fact, I would say if they figure out a way to use it, the best way possible, I'd say the small companies can easily beat the big companies as well. There have been plenty of examples. It's like David versus Goliath, right? I mean, only thing is, the figuring out part, right? So that is where a lot of businesses, may fail inevitably. Uh, but success is never built on one try, right? I mean, it is failure after failure. Even the AI technology that we're talking about, it was never really done in one and done sort of thing. LB can echo on that as well. There's a lot of trial and error. I mean, that is how we know if something is working or not working. So the biggest takeaway is, tools are always there to be used by people. It's not meant to be treasured, and just it's not a it's not a it's not a piece of tool that you just keep it on display and never use it, right? I mean, it doesn't serve the purpose. It needs to be used. So when it comes to governance, right, particularly, a lot of businesses tend to shy away. They look at the checklist, or they look at somebody like me with a suit and tie, like, oh, okay, this guy looks like a lot of work. Let me avoid that. I'm happy with the smaller business that I'm getting. But in fact, compliance, or the certifications, or the governance part, that should be viewed as the passport for a global business, right? That is the power of compliance. If you are able to prove your business, right, in the AI tools that you're using or even developing, if you're able to prove that your business is meeting these international standards or frameworks, that already puts you on the table with the big companies out there on the world, and that definitely sets your business apart from your competitors, right? For example, so you'll be able to do business in regions where you thought may not be possible, right? So for me, the biggest takeaway I'd like to present is, for all the businesses and all the business owners, right? Uh, Compliance, please don't look at it as a speed breaker or something that will slow your business down, but rather look at it the other way. Look at it the way that can boost your business to a global level. And definitely, I've worked with some companies. I can name them. I can talk to you guys in person when I meet you. I have seen companies go from 20 people company to 20,000 in just a span of 4 years. So I'm not saying the governance or compliance is the only reason, but it definitely is one key part of it. Of course, innovation, the efforts the people put in definitely needed, but it's like if you just have speed without direction, you're bound to crash, right? So you can build the fastest car in the world, but you don't have a way to steer the car, you're bound to crash. So look at compliance that way as a steering mechanism for your business, right? You can increase your speed to whatever speed you want, hundred of kilometers, thousands of kilometers. The sky's the limit, right? But without a way to govern or to steer that speed or control that speed, which is what compliance and governance is, you know, that vehicle is bound to crash. So that is my biggest takeaway. And I'm putting together something really special for June, and I'm eager to share it with everybody.
Thank you, Deepak. I really look forward to June presentation, like how compliance is going to direct
Yeah.
us and steer the wheel in business
Yes.
together in this community. How about you, LV? What are your biggest excitement and what can SMEs expect from your presentation in June?
Yeah, I think practical tools. We like to always ensure whether we're training or unlocking projects, we adding value. So we'll make sure that we sharing pragmatic, tools and I think helping people to cross pollinate. Everyone, when we meet with different SMEs, whether it's in Singapore or any of the Southeast Asia countries, even South Africa, where I'm from, it's always about how do we expand, right? And where do we expand and who do we expand to? And we're spending a bit of time helping to unlock the cross-border analytics and capability for people to find the right land and expand strategies. So we'll be sharing a bit of that and pragmatic use cases on that and how people can leverage AI to find value and have a successful 2026. Yeah.
Thank you, Alvi. If you want to know more about BCG, please register on our screen now, scanning the QR code to register for free access to our BCG movement events and also activities. And be together in June in Sabah together with Deepak and also Alvi and know more about how to unlock your potential, unlock your values, and having compliance as the steering wheel that move our business to the next level together in this community. With that, thank you, Deepak and Elvi, for sharing this wonderful information with us and how we have AI and compliance with the benefits and overcoming the barriers together in this community together. Thank you very much. I truly enjoy your sessions and sharings today. Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you.
you
Thank
next
you.
week, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Thank you so much, LB, as well. I think it was a great talk. Thank you so much. All the best to everybody, and hope to see you guys soon.
Take care.